Hi guys, so I know a lot of you were having trouble graphing a scatter plot using the Google Spreadsheets, so I decided to make a screencast of how to do this. Here I have all of my data lined out. This is just made up data. I took the theme from Chris Mercer's project, but so this is all my made up data. I am just going to select the data first, so clicking and dragging, or you can click one box and press the shift key and use the arrows to select all of those. And then I'm going to go straight to the insert chart, click on that, and I want this to be a scatter plot because it is quantitative bivariate data. Okay, so right now it's pretty blank. There's no real descriptors. There are some marks on it, but I'm going to customize this to make it a little more specific. So what I want this to be called is how teens spend their time, because that's his theme. My legend, it's not showing me any important information. This is kind of what the legend is. So I am going to, right underneath that, instead of putting at the right, I'm going to say I don't want a legend. I'm going to get rid of it completely. The next important thing are my axes. So I scroll down here, down to axes. The first one I'm going to deal with is my horizontal axis. So your horizontal axis is your first column. So in my case, that is the time on social media, and it's in minutes. Okay, and I can tell them that I only want this to go from 0 to 150, because maybe these numbers are outliers and they're just messing with my graph. Or I can even just tell it to go from 0 to 50, and there we go, it switches it. But I do want it to go all the way to 200. I think that was my maximum if I remember right. So I have all of this, my labels, my axis is labeled. I'm able to tell like where each point is. So now I need to deal with my left vertical axis. So I click on this, go to my left vertical axis. This was my time spent outside. And this is also in minutes. Okay. And again, if I wanted to, I could say, okay, I want to go from 0, and I want to make this only go to 100, because these are outliers and I don't need to show them in my graph. And that might give me a better picture of my data. Again, I'm going to keep this at 200. I think that was my max. Or was it 250? Let's make this go to 1,000. No, 1,000. Yeah, it was 200 was my max. Okay, anyway, sorry. So I could just make that my maximum, and there's all my data. The other thing I like to do is, these dots are pretty big. This is a large dot, so I'm going to go to the points, and I'm going to change the point size from 7 pixels to just 2 pixels. And then it makes it a lot easier to see all of your data. I think that's everything. The only other thing that you might be interested in doing is looking at your horizontal and vertical axis. If your numbers are pretty widely ranged, like it goes from 0 all the way to a million or another large thing, you might want to scale your axis using the log scale. And what that does is it makes each point, it's just the next higher exponent. So it goes from 10 squared, or 10 to the first, to 10 squared, and so you can see a little bit more of your data. A lot of you that's not going to be applicable, but if your numbers vary a lot, it might be useful for you. And you would have to change that for each axis. So I did it for the horizontal, and then I changed it back. If I wanted to do it for the left vertical, then I would have to select that and press log scale. But you can do that if it makes your graph look better. That is everything I wanted to show you. So again, the last thing you have to do is just press insert, and your graph shows up, and you can change the size. You can edit it from in here, but it just gives you a pretty nice scatter plot. I hope this helped.